Alive. Welcome once again to the Live Drive Jive Archive with your host Frank Monday. I hope y'all good looking sexy people are doing well out in Happy Land. We are broadcasting from the central kingdom of the celestial dragon, Twilight Zone Old Peking. We're going through the central business district right now. Having myself a JP Farrell. This morning I was up and at 'em early. Had an opportunity to even listen to a little news. Very little. Not big on listening to news anymore these days. The news cycle is, I don't know what it is, man, but it's the same old shit over and over and over again. It seems like, hey, look, Monsieur Tiedrick's out there in Happy Land. Greetings, sir. It seems like the news cycle these days is constantly promoting this false dichotomy. And let me explain what I mean by that. They've created this false dichotomy of the clean versus the unclean. And it's really reminiscent of 100 years ago. It seems like the Nazi regime, which was the government of the state of Saxony. At the time, I don't believe it was called Germany, was it? Maybe it was. But the government of Germany declared that there was, two classes of citizens, basically. The clean versus the unclean. And as a result, they were able to motivate people to, liquidate and execute an entire class of people based on the idea that they were unclean. Don't people see the parallels in what the government is doing now? That they've created yet another false dichotomy of the clean versus the unclean? And it's essentially the same government. I mean, who were hired into that whole scenario? Doctors and scientists all had to swear allegiance to the government at that time. They didn't swear allegiance to hey, Paradox Fossils out there in Happy Land. Yeah, it doesn't even work. You're right. I mean, it's garbage, because how can people even buy into that narrative when all of the so-called science is saying that, it doesn't really matter. It's this boogeyman is going to be transmissible no matter what you do. And so why is it now a pandemic of the unclean? And how is it that if you submit to this system, that somehow makes you clean? I don't get it. I mean, all statistics and indicators, scientific analysis says that what's going on is wrong. That it's just dead wrong. I've studied the numbers, I've studied the research, and anyone with a rational, logical mind can clearly see what's going on, and that it's no different than what happened 80 years ago in Germany. They're setting up a global system of the ability to liquidate and estrange, isolate entire groups of people. And it's so open and in your face that it just baffles. It really does. So I don't know what to do about it. Just keep on keeping on. Keep fighting the man. There's been a big debate too on trust in government or trust in public institutions. And I don't even understand how this is a debate. It's like they're saying, oh, people's trust in institutions and governing bodies or whatever is at an all-time low. And it's like, no, we've always mistrust those collective systems. They've never, from day one, have any of those systems ever worked for the benefit of the average individual. In fact, if the United States, being an American myself, if it means anything, it means that the people who established that system said that the last thing you should do is trust the collective or the government. That you should be wary of them and always keep them in check and always keep an eye on public policy. Because that's the thing too, they're decrying science as if science is public policy, and it's not. Public policy is not guided by any type of legitimate scientific rationale. In fact, the exact opposite is true. Real scientific analysis of the situation would dictate this, that, or the other, and they do the exact same, they do the exact opposite of what any type of logical rationale would lead you to believe. So that's a non-starter right there. Trust government? Fuck no. Zero trust in government. The other big news topic was Trudeau coming out, the dictator, the mini Hitler of Canada right now. Baby Hitler over there. Blackface man. He came out and said that he wanted to offer his support, which I don't see how even a single individual even matters anymore in today's day and age. It's like, why is there one single guy like Trudeau calling the shots for 35 million people? I don't know how that works, man. That doesn't seem like any kind of democratic process to me. But it's just so illogical and in your face. He says that to support the democracy and the freedom of the Ukrainian people to choose their future. And it's like, wait a good goddamn minute. What about the people of Canada? Why can't they have freedom and democracy and choose their own future? I guess everyone that goes against these new mainstream narratives, this new normal, this, what is his name? Schwab, Club of Rome, Bilderberg Group. If you go against this fiat currency system of wage slavery, then you are a fringe minority with an unacceptable opinion. How can you have an unacceptable opinion in a so-called constitutional republic guided by the ideals of democracy and liberty and freedom for all? If you haven't yet, check out Richard Dolan's speech on the subject that he dropped yesterday. So yesterday, Richard Dolan, some of you may know Richard Dolan. I think he's a pretty good guy. He's got his head on straight. He came out yesterday with an hour-long dissertation on the State of the Union. He made a State of the Union address, and he said that no matter what happens, you should keep in your mind the ideals of freedom and liberty and those original words pinned in the U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights. That starts off with the fact that this Bill of Rights is an inalienable right bestowed upon you by the grand architect, by your creator. by whatever divine force and intelligent design governs the cosmos, that's where you get those rights. That freedom to speech and freedom of religion and the right to bear arms, the right to privacy in your papers, the right to move yourself about freely within any given place. That all of those bills of rights, the first 10 you should definitely review. That those are your natural rights. They're like extensions of your being, like your left and right arm. They're just there. They're not given to you by government. They're natural extensions of your sovereignty as a human being. And so it's good to embrace that and review that, at least mentally. And all of your transactions in society should come from being rooted in that truth, that I have certain inalienable rights, and no matter what appears before me, I have the right to exercise those powers given to me by God. And so I think you should go and review Richard Dolan's hour-long presentation. It's really good. He's a UFO researcher, but he's a good guy, I think. I don't agree with all of his opinions all of the time, but that was a very good speech he gave yesterday. Guys, I'm at the toll gate and I have to use my phone to pay, so I have to sign off for now, but I'll be back on right after I get through the toll gate. I love y'all good-looking, sexy people out in Happy Land. Hit the like and subscribe buttons, and don't forget to ring that Pavlonian bell so that whenever we go live, you can join me for the morning grind. And I will see you back in a little while. Make sure you tune back in, look for the next live stream. This live stream I am turning off right now because I have to pay the toll at the gate. I love y'all good-looking, sexy people. Stay well and good magic.